Hello and welcome to the Miles Irvin Show. I'm your host, Miles, and happy Halloween! Today is Halloween, the spookiest day of the year. And last night, to start off the second full week, or I guess really the first full week of the season, I'll just call it week 2. We had a bunch of very fun, intriguing matchups. And I want to go over a few of them today here to start this week of the Miles Irvin Show. Before we get started, leave a like on the video and subscribe for NBA content Tuesday through Friday, 9 a.m. Eastern, here on the Miles Irvin Show. And yeah, we'll be recapping some of the biggest games and the biggest news from throughout the NBA world. Excuse me, I do not know why I cannot talk. Um, Now, before the games, this yesterday afternoon, or I guess yesterday morning, the NBA unveiled a brand new thing happening with the in-season tournament. Of course, the in-season tournament is starting this Friday. First time ever that they're doing this new in-season tournament for the NBA Cup. And what they unveiled today is they unveiled 30 brand new court designs for every single team for tournament play, which I think is brilliant. It's definitely something that's bold. And to me personally, I think that these creative court designs with the whole thing painted and no like wood showing, I think that that makes up for these awful jerseys that we have gotten. I think that the court design that makes up for it all. So I think great move by the NBA to have all those amazing courts. Let me know in the comment section what your favorite court design is. I will leave a link in the description below of all the images of the courts because it really is something else. And I was not expecting every team to have a new court, but it is super dope that the NBA is doing that. But now let's get into some of the games from last night. First up, the one that I just finished watching, a very entertaining game between the Orlando Magic and the Los Angeles Lakers, one where the Magic were leading for most of the game, and it looked like they were going to pull out their third straight victory to begin the season, but the Lakers finished off the Magic, got some clutch buckets and some clutch defense down the stretch, just enough to pull out the victory thanks to a terrific performance from D'Angelo Russell in the fourth quarter. You see, he had 28 points there on 10 of 14 shooting, 14 points in the fourth quarter, and he was magnificent offensively. Anthony Davis was a monster all game, and then LeBron came up clutch in the fourth quarter as well. You know, big time win for the Lakers after last night, or not last night, I guess Sunday night. They lost a very close game in overtime to the Sacramento Kings on the road. It was very important for them to bounce back because it would not have been a good look to begin the season 1-3. But a difficult loss here for the Orlando Magic. They played a terrific basketball game, and a big part of it was their 3-point shooting. They made 14 of 35 three-pointers in this game. And 5 of them from Gary Harris off the bench. The veteran was 5 for 5 from beyond the arc off the bench. He was lethal. I mean, how many different players hit a three? 7 different guys made a 3-point shot for Orlando. And that type of, team cohesiveness is huge, offensively for a team that's looking to make some noise in the play-in picture later on this season. But the Magic couldn't hit threes down the stretch. Paolo Banchero missed an open one. Wendell Carter missed some. Franz Wagner, Cole Anthony. But I got to give a shout out. I know he missed that last shot at the end and, the layup. But Jalen Suggs was everywhere in this game, defensively, offensively. Just small hustle plays like the rebounding. Like that last play, he got that offensive rebound. Franz Wagner took a very, I think, ill-advised 3-point shot attempt over LeBron James to try to tie the game. But Jalen Suggs was right under there, got the rebound, dribbled it out. Excellent pump fake to get Anthony Davis up in the air, and he had a clean look to send that one into overtime, but it was just off the mark. And the Lakers pull out the victory. So good on the Lakers and a good moral victory, I would say, for the Magic. It's a heartbreaker for sure because you had that game. You had that game, but it's a young Magic team and they definitely showed why, people project them to be so much better this season. Now, moving on, let's go to a playoff rematch from last season. We had the Heat and the Bucks going at it for the first time since Miami upset the Bucks in the first round last season, and the Bucks pulled out the victory 122 to 114. Score a little bit closer because the Heat reserves, got them closer in the fourth quarter, but the Bucks dominated really this whole game. Had a 25-point lead in the third quarter, and yeah, just dominance again by Giannis Antetokounmpo. And Damian Lillard had a good bounce back game after his struggles the previous game against the Atlanta Hawks. Now on Miami's side of things, they just had a rough performance. They could not stop the Bucks offensively, and guys like Jimmy Butler were struggling offensively. But in the fourth quarter, the Heat reserves, they scored 41 points, and well, not their reserves, because Tyler Hero played 42 and a half minutes this game and scored 35 points. He was hitting all types of shots to try to get the Heat back in. And I thought, man, is this am I rewatching a playoff game? Because the Bucks, in games 4 and 5 of that series, had a double-digit lead heading into the fourth quarter, and the Heat came back and won those games. Now, I found it interesting that Eric Spoelstra never decided to go back to, like, is Jimmy Butler there. Bam Adebayo missed this game. Thomas Bryant stepped in and started. They gave him a lot of shot attempts early in this game. But the Heat ran with, like, Josh Richardson, Duncan Robinson, Orlando Robinson, and Hero, and either Jovic or Jaquez, their rookie, for most of the fourth quarter, and they got back in the game. So good stuff there from the Heat, although they are now just 1-3 to start the season. But a terrific bounce back for the Bucks here, who I just realized started their first 3 games at home. They had their first 3 games of the season at home. I'm gonna look and see if they okay, so their next game is Wednesday, and they play in Toronto. So that is their first road game before they kick off in-season tournament play this Friday against the New York Knicks. So good victory for the Bucks there. Now, last one that I really want to look in depth to, that I really had a chance to watch a lot of, that was the Timberwolves Hawks game. Now, this was very entertaining, especially in the first quarter, because neither team could miss a shot in the first quarter. It was unbelievable. Anthony Edwards was on fire to begin the game. Naz Reid came in off the bench. He was on fire. Sadiq Bey on the other side for the Hawks was on fire to begin. Jalen Johnson had a bunch of transition dunks to start the game. There were a combined 16 made three-pointers in the first quarter. That was incredible. And I was like, man, when is this going to stop? I mean, the first team to play defense is probably going to be the team to win this game. And Minnesota kept exploding their way. They had a 21-point lead in the first half, and they were dominating the Hawks in Atlanta. Thanks to Anthony Edwards, Naz Reid, like I was saying. Karl-Anthony Towns was good. He was all right. Jaden McDaniels, Rudy Gobert. They were all solid, and they built a large lead. But in the second half, Dejounte Murray took over, tied his career high with 41 points. A lot of them in the second half, and he was just absolutely on fire. Shot 71% from the field, 17 for 24, which is huge because Trae Young, I mean, he didn't shoot that great. He still had 24 points, 8 assists, but Trae Young has had a bit of a slow start to the season. So great for the Hawks that Dejounte Murray was able to really explode there and come out with the victory for the Hawks, which is good. They get back to 500. But this is a tough loss for the Timberwolves. They've had a bit of a rough start to the season when you look at it. They've got a 1-2 record. They lost that defensive, grinded out game in Toronto to begin the year. Then they blew out a Miami team that was sitting like 5 of their guys. And then you had a golden opportunity. You were dominating this Hawks team on the road, but then you completely collapsed. I mean, this was a 40-point turnaround. Minnesota had a 21-point lead in the first half. Atlanta led by 19 in the fourth quarter before all the guys came out of the game. It was crazy, to see that You know, the switch turned, just that quickly in the second half. But yeah, those are really all the games that I really took a deep dive into. But there are definitely some other teams that I want to focus on a little bit here before I wrap it up. Since I don't do any videos over the weekend and on Monday. Um, I wanted to focus on the three undefeated teams that we have left in the NBA, and that is the Boston Celtics, the Denver Nuggets, and the Dallas Mavericks, which is a surprise to me. I was not expecting them to have this great of a start to the season, but starting off with the Celtics, they're off to a 3-0 start. I mean, tonight they just completely obliterated the Wizards out of the gate. I mean, the game was over in the first quarter. I mean, the Wizards tried to make a little, I don't even know, a little push there. Um, but it was all Boston. It was all Boston. They had a 23-point lead after one, and they just, this offense is so well-rounded. Now, again, this is, of course, against a Wizards team that is not very good. But, if this Wizards team is clicking or the Celtics, excuse me, if this Celtics offense is clicking like this, I mean, you got Jaylen Brown with 36 points, Jason Tatum 33 points. They combined for 12 threes between the two of them. And then you have your role players knocking down a bunch of shots as well. It's definitely a terrific team. They're up there in Boston. They've been off to a terrific start in the season. One of the three undefeated teams left. Second undefeated team is the reigning champion Denver Nuggets. And this is super impressive considering, championship teams usually they have that honeymoon phase or whatever you want to call it, but that is not the case with this Denver team. They are 4-0 after tonight's win or last night's win against the Utah Jazz, where Nikola Jokic had another triple-double. He has been an absolute beast to begin the season. Jamal Murray had 14 assists in this one as well. I wasn't able to watch this one too closely, but just coming off a championship, it's great to see Denver have these great wins, and a lot of them have been super dominant as well. When you look at the that win against the Lakers on opening night, you have them completely obliterate the Thunder on Sunday. That was extremely impressive for a young Thunder squad that has been, very explosive offensively. Have some quality wins themselves to begin the year. And then the last undefeated team, the Dallas Mavericks, coming off of winning their third straight game to begin the season in Memphis against the injury-riddled Grizzlies, who on the other side of the coin have not won a game yet. They are 0-4, which is crazy. And tonight they had the performances that they needed from their key guys. They had a 30-point performance from Jaren Jackson. They had a 30-point performance from Desmond Bane. Even Marcus Smart gave you 23 points with 5 3-pointers, but the defense was just not good enough to stop Luka Doncic and the Mavericks. And I mean, the Mavericks, if they shoot 23 for 47 from 3 in a game, they're probably going to win the game because they're a team that's going to live and die by the 3, and when it's going down, that's going to be their bread and butter. And Luka, he had another triple-double himself, 35 points, 12 boards, 12 assists. He's coming off of that incredible game on Friday night against Brooklyn where he had the 4 threes in a row to close out that game against the Nets, the 49 points. I mean, when you look at most valuable player candidates right now, it's gotta be either him or Jokic, and I would probably go Luka right now because he has been sensational. And they got great performances from their role players as well. I mean, you got 21 from Tim Hardaway, 22 from Derrick Jones Jr., and that's important for a game where you do not have Kyrie Irving in this one. You don't have that second scoring threat with Luka Doncic. When those other role players are going, it's impossible to really stop this team there once they all have it clicking, because then all the shots are falling. They don't really play anyone besides their rookie Derek Lively, who isn't a real threat from beyond the arc. So, great start for the Mavericks, and something that's very surprising for me. I'm sure it'll tail off just a little bit, but at least to begin the season, Very, very, very impressive there. Now let's move into Miles's player of the night, and let's see who it is for. I guess this is the fourth night I'm tracking this, I believe. Let's see who it is. Let's see, and it is the player I was just talking about, Luka Doncic, with that triple double in Memphis against the Grizzlies. You know, I just talked about, he has been absolutely incredible. Um, Something that's always been a thing with Luka has been his efficiency, and he has been extremely efficient, especially from downtown to begin the season. You see the 6 3-pointers he hit in this game against the Grizzlies, but like heading into this game, he's shooting 48% from three and taking a ton of attempts per game. In that Brooklyn game, he made 9 threes out of 14 attempts, and in the Spurs game, he just went 3 for 11. But in the last 2 games, he's shooting 15 for 26 from deep. That is unbelievable, and it's just great to see him get off to such an amazing start. Just like that Mavericks team. Now, there are definitely some other candidates. Nikola Jokic, like I said, Dejounte Murray was a big candidate for this one. Anthony Edwards, if they had pulled out that victory, would have been huge. Giannis again. Let me know who your player of the night was for last night's contest there. But looking into tonight's Halloween contest, only 3 games on tonight, and the two national TV games. We've got the New York Knicks and the Cleveland Cavaliers at 7:30 on TNT. Hopefully, Donovan Mitchell plays in that one. We know Darius Garland and Jared Allen are already both out for this one. So, hoping that we can get a entertaining matchup there and a playoff rematch. The Knicks might take these games because these two teams also play in New York on Wednesday. But hopefully we can get a good contest here from these two teams, even if the Cavs are missing most of their guys to injury. They've been putting up some solid fight to begin the season, even though their record doesn't look that great. And then right after the Knicks and the Cavs, we've got the San Antonio Spurs visiting the Phoenix Suns. Unfortunately, Devin Booker and Bradley Beal are still out for this one, but it'll be the first matchup we get of Victor Wembanyama and Kevin Durant. So, a couple fun matchups on Halloween night. Plenty of things to look forward to heading into this week of play, and then especially Friday of in-season tournament basketball, the first ever in-season tournament in the NBA. I don't know why my camera is not focusing. Okay, I don't know why it's not focusing, but anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a like and subscribe for more NBA content. Tuesday through Friday, 9 a.m. Eastern, I will have all these recaps for you. I will have the link to my podcast in the description down below, the Runnin the Paint podcast. I'll also have my X down in the description below. But my name is Miles. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Like I said, leave a comment down below with what you think about all these games and heading into this week of NBA basketball. But again, thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.